Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here on Shots Fired Podcast. Today, right? Gonna be a little different. I know last episode I told you guys I was gonna talk about conspiracy theories and the whole 9 yards, but I'm gonna put that on pause. And here's why. So, a lot lately, a lot of things have been happening. Not with me, well, not just with me, but with America, I guess you could say, the U.S. Gun violence, accidental shootings, accidental suicides, people streaming it on live. Yeah, so just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit and get your guys' perspective or what you think about guns, gun violence, about weapon restrictions, things like that, right? Some things that we can do to help prevent accidental shootings or gun violence at all from happening. And I'm not dumb. I know nothing is ever going to stop violence, let alone gun violence, right? So, little background to why I want to kind of talk about this is recently on the news. I'm not sure if it was on everybody's news channel or whatever, but local to me, a young man accidentally shot himself on a live stream, playing with a gun, right? Doing things you shouldn't do. And I'm not saying it's his fault, but I'm not saying anybody's really to blame for this. It's just one of the ways I think we can prevent this from happening is giving people the knowledge if they are gonna handle weapons. So local to me, young man, 17 years old, shot himself on live. And I know you guys have heard this happening before. This isn't the first time it's happened. It's just local to me. It's in my area in Virginia. I didn't know the person, don't know anything like that. So sucks. Either way, it doesn't matter if I know him or not, it still sucks. But some things I think that we should talk about, and I know it's kind of a big subject with a lot of people. Me, if you know me, if y'all listen pretty much, I kind of hint to it a little bit. I don't know. I'm a big weapons enthusiast. I enjoy firearms. I enjoy the sport of it. I'm not a big hunter. I don't really hunt that much. I grew up hunting a little bit, but not a big hunter. But I do enjoy going to the range, shooting for sport, shooting for fun. With that being said, a lot of people jump the gun. A lot of people say there's a lot of misinformation out there, first off. And I'm not really going to try to dig deep into categorizing different weapons and calibers and things like that. I'm not going to do that. But I could go down that wormhole. I'll talk about that with y'all all day, have a discussion, but we're not going to. We're just going to talk about things I think that should be put into place for, to give people the knowledge, just to try to help stop these kind of things. And one thing I think should happen is, it's kind of a big topic too. At what age do we start teaching children about firearms, about safety, what to do with them, what not to do with them, things like that? And me, I'm a firm believer, start very young, especially if you're going to have firearms in the home. Literally to the age of, when do you teach a kid not to stick their finger in the light socket? When they start crawling around? No, don't do that. Maybe pop their hand, something like that. It's going to bite you, right? However you do about teaching children not to do that. I think at that age, you should start teaching them. I'm not saying leave guns laying around, because you should never do that. That's one thing. Never leave weapons just laying around, right? For anybody, let alone kids, but you don't just want anybody being able to grab a firearm in your house. But start them young. Start teaching them like, hey, this is not a toy. You do not touch this. It will hurt you, or if you see one, tell an adult. Or get out of the room, leave it alone. Don't touch it. Walk away. Go tell an adult. Tell your, mom, dad, whoever. Start teaching them young, and then once they get a little bit older and they start able to comprehend things and understand how things work, really, teach them that this can seriously hurt somebody, kill somebody, yourself included, And I don't think we teach that enough to our youth, to our children. A lot of it is misconstrued with everything young kids see on TV, social media, music videos, movies, inspiring artists, all this stuff, right? The cool thing to do is, wave around firearms and do crazy stuff. And then that's how you accidentally pop yourself. So we want to get away from that. We don't want to see our children, anybody's children, any young adults, anybody really succumb to a situation like that. But that's what I think, starting off, you should start at a young age. If y'all disagree, let me know, or what do you guys think? All this is open for discussion, right? And I'm just kind of putting this out here because this did happen in the news recently, but we all know this does happen a lot more often than not. And with everything else, not just, this happening, but murders, mass shootings, all this stuff. And this kind of goes along with the one I was talking about, with the gun violence and the school shootings and things like that. So after that, right, I think, remember when we were kids, everybody would do, not everybody, but I'm pretty sure you had like Smokey the Bear. Everybody probably knows Smokey the Bear. I think his name's Smokey the Bear, the forest fire guy. Dare, things like that. You had these people that would come to your school or your neighborhood or whatever and come talk to you and give awareness, right? Teach you a little bit. Because we all know children, young adults, their minds are like sponges. They're going to take in all this information. They might not retain it all, but at some point they're going to be like, hey, I remember having X, Y, and Z say we should not do this shit. Why not do that? And I think it's a touchy subject because parents don't want their kids to have to really learn that kind of stuff, right? But the more and more society grows and the more it's changing the way that it is, the patterns that are showing is we need this kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with teaching children it, right? Why not have something in school like a thing like Dare or Smokey the Bear or whatever it is, right? Teach kids, and I'm not saying give them guns to play with and say, hey, this is the safety, this is how you load it, this is how you unload, all that shit. It's not what I'm saying. But teach them like, hey, like I said, you see a gun, don't touch it, tell an adult, tell the teacher, or show them videos, Everybody, these kids nowadays, everything's TikTok, YouTube, you name it, they're on it. So they're seeing it. So why not indulge in that and teach them the right things to do? And I don't think, and you could go, oh, we need to ban all guns and take them off the streets and all this bullshit. That's never going to happen. A criminal is going to be a criminal. If somebody wants to get a firearm, they're going to get it. And as we see now, it's a lot easier. I feel like it's a lot easier to gain access to a weapon now off the streets than it was when I was younger. Like it might not be, I don't know, but that's my opinion of it. That's what I think. So, and like I said, I'm a big advocate on the Second Amendment. Guns aren't just for hunting. That's a whole different discussion about tyranny and all kinds of other shit, right? But I do believe that purchasing a firearm should be a little bit more restricted. The age should be different. And I know, I'm not sure of every state. I know a lot of states do have more strict weapon laws, firearm laws. But purchasing one, most of the time, it's 18 to buy a rifle and 21 to buy a pistol. and I think that's wrong, right? I think you should at least be 21 to buy any kind of firearm. Uh, Now I know growing up as a kid, right? My dad had guns, but he was a hunter, and I would go hunting with him, and that's the only time I ever touched them is when we would go to the range, to shoot, or we go hunting. And I had the training. I had to sit through a hunter safety course, all that stuff like that. And that's another thing I think everybody should do. And I don't know how to implement it. I don't know what would be a good idea on implementing it. I don't know the fucking word. I'm getting mixed up with my words. But a way of doing it, everybody should take a firearm safety course. If you go now, obviously, people that don't want to buy a gun legally are going to do it the illegal way, so they don't have to do those kind of things. But if you're going to purchase a firearm from a legit place, you should have to show proof of some kind of weapon safety course. I know a lot of places, and that's how it is in a lot of states with your concealed carry, right? You have to show proof of a class that you went to, right? And obviously ID and shit like that. But just to buy a firearm, you should do that, right? Unless you have some kind of formal training like police, military, things like that. You get that firearm safety training, and you train of it. I don't want to say a lot more, but you have more hands on than a normal person might, right? Not all normal people. There's a lot of them people that be out there shooting them guns, and they be doing all kinds of crazy shit. But you should have to show some kind of proof of that. I don't know how to implement that. I don't know. Maybe if we could do at some age, like your license, you have to do this. I don't know how that would work. I don't have that answer, but I think this would be a good way to go. And the goal really is to just kind of stop these accidental things, because obviously you're not going to stop people from unaliving other people and doing what they want to do. But I think there's a lot more responsible people that own firearms than there are irresponsible people. And let's just put it how it is. They're irresponsible, right? They know what the damage can be done, but they don't care. It's irresponsible. So I don't think everybody should be, because everybody shouldn't be affected because of some things, right? And I don't know. I just think that that's kind of how it should be, and the goal of it is to protect our youth, our children, our young people, young adults in America, because they're going to be the one. I mean, look at it. Like, they're going to be the ones carrying the torch. They're going to be the ones doing what's next, whatever next is. They're going to be the ones doing it. And accidental things like that happen is not good. And that's not good at all. So spread the word on it. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe we can do some kind of thing to where we start doing firearm safety for young children. I mean, obviously there's a lot of things that would have to get put into motion for that, a lot of different things. But I think that would be a good thing. Let me know if you guys think it would be a good idea, and maybe I can look into some stuff and see what it would take to actually be able to find people that want to go to different schools or communities, rec centers, however it may be, to teach young people, what to do. I really do think it's a good idea. Some people might not agree with it, and that's okay. Not everybody has to agree with it. Not everybody has to understand it or whatever it may be. But there's a big but, right? I don't know where I'm going with this big but I think it's a good idea, right? So it's just a big thing that's been weighing on my mind since I seen this, and I just wanted to get it out there and talk about it and see how you guys felt about it. Yeah, and that's all I really got for y'all today. It's nothing crazy. I'm trying to do different things, guys. I might have some good stuff coming up for you in the future. I know I said I put all these ideas out there. Conspiracy theories. I said about doing the one thing a month. and all this stuff, man. I put all this stuff, and I'm just trying to put ideas out there for you guys, for the listeners that enjoy this kind of stuff. But the feedback from you guys is what really helps me. So please, 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 please give your feedback. Post things on the Shots Fired Podcast Facebook page. Post things in the comments on YouTube. DM me on Instagram and Facebook or whatever, right? Let me know what your guys' opinions, your ideas, all that stuff. That really helps. Helps a lot. And also, it gives you some good stuff that you guys want to listen to. All right? Hey, and remember, always shoot your shot. Peace.